It feels like every time I come out here to Astoria Park that the universe just feels this unabashed need to gift me with little drops of rain. And I appreciate it because it's probably a sign that I need to get some wellies. Got one bridge over there, got another bridge over there. So it's quite delightful, and it always has me reflecting on that constant reminder that every storm eventually runs out of rain. Just get to decide whether you're going to sing or dance your way through the chaos, or if you're going to take it personally. We've got choices. But as Augmendina would say, laugh at the world and don't take yourself too silly. Don't take yourself too seriously, because, we get to dictate how we interpret the story. Somebody could say something in a negative tonality and we could take it very personally and run with that narrative for days. Or somebody could honk their horn at us and we just feel bad for hours. Or maybe you're at the grocery store and somebody says, your receipt's in the bag, and you say, you too. You make mistakes. But then you reflect on them and you feel like a silly little curmudgeon pup reflecting back on that moment. But shed the need to feel perfect all the time. Shed the overall desire to have a optimistic or perfect self-image all the time, because we can't control how other people are going to interpret us. It's not even within our power. That's why they have Johari's window, the windows of different views of perception. We have the way we see ourselves, then we have the way that other people see us, then we've got the way that we think other people see us, which rarely aligns with the other two quadrants. And then there's that celestial, abstract self that we don't even know, the quantum self that's made up of space. So that's just unbeknownst to us. So we've got different versions of ourselves. Most of the time they're not aligning, but we're taking ourselves too seriously based on the way that we think other people perceive us, which is bad. Because we know that there are multiple layers, like we're a cake or an onion that can be peeled away. They call it the social penetration theory, how we have certain layers we have to get through before we actually truly understand a person. And these things take time and curiosity and intention. But more often than not, we won't take the time to actually get to know individuals or their thoughts or their intentions, so we just run with the first idea that comes into our head because we think we're infallible, that our thoughts must be perfect, because to believe otherwise would be to criticize ourselves, and we already feel bad enough as we do, so who's gonna buy that, right? Nobody. Terrible time all around. But I suppose the goal with this ramble is to highlight the fact that the way you perceive yourself, especially if it's in a negative light, it may be a byproduct of society or experiences and stories that you've attached to these experiences. But in reality, these stories, do not necessarily hold an absolute truth despite believing it. So that's what we're always talking about, the labels we assign ourselves, the way that we speak about the world, because it creates this reality, this narrative, and then we believe this reality and this narrative, and then it becomes a byproduct of what we are, and it ultimately sets a ceiling for how high we can go, which unfortunately a lot of people fall prey to. So when we just recognize that the boxes that we put ourselves in can be broken out of, and you can actually build a door and walk out of there. Once you realize this, you can start changing your environment, you can start choosing the people you spend time with, you can ultimately choose to become a better version of yourself. Not saying the version that you are isn't good enough, but, life is but a game, and we try not to take it too seriously, so we just try to improvise our way through day to day. So, thanks for tuning in.